But it was to save my own life. Like it was.
Yes.
It was like so you come to a point where it's like, all right. And my brother had the same moment that I did. Was like, okay, there are two options here. Either I chuck this out the window, and that's it, or I better understand this. You know. And it was like, okay, let's give it all we can. Let's give it all we can. You know, and I think I'm grateful that it turned out the way it did, but it was that crisis moment where it's like, and I understand it and I feel it because I know a lot of people had that moment in their life where they're like, okay, well, this makes no sense, chuck it, you know, and one of the reasons why I talk is because I know that feeling and I sympathize with it. It's like I get it, I understand that sense when you're like 20 years old, you're going to university. And you remember all the things people told you, and you're like, okay, this guy dies on a cross because of something my ancestors did, and now if I believe that, I go to heaven. Sorry. No, man. Like, sorry. That's meaningless. It's completely meaningless. And I get it. So, because I had that moment, like, no, I better make sense of this, or else, seriously, this is not going to work. But luckily, I think, and then coming out of it, I'm like,
luckily to a Calvinist.
Through the grace of God, through divine providence, I found, so, you know, coming out of the other side in a way, stronger. I told this story for maybe some people have heard it, but there's a moment that I hold on to. It was when I was about 21. And I was still like, I was shaky in the sense that I was like, what am I doing with this? And I was living with a guy, and he had a friend, and she was teaching philosophy at the local college. And one time she came up to me and she's like, I had this guy in my class, he grew up Catholic, and he's telling me that it's all nonsense. He wants to chuck it out the window, like all this Jesus Mary stuff, complete nonsense. And she looked at me and she said, I hate to see this. What should I tell him? I had no answer. Like, I had no answer because she was like, it's all scientifically, it makes no sense. None of it makes sense. It's all, you know, I think I gestured to some creationist thing or whatever. And I forget, it was just an empty gesture. And I hold on to that because it's like, I feel like I'm talking to that lady, you know, all the time. It's like I wish I could go back and have that moment with her where it's like, you know what? I think I can explain it in a way that you can understand. Yeah.